Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. My name is Edgar, and welcome to my channel. Today, it is an exciting day because we get to harvest our garlic crop. So, it is exciting because we get to see what kind of garlic bulbs we get. I'll show you what we look for on the plants before we harvest, and I'll show you how we dry and cure our garlic. I'll show you how some of the scapes are doing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Let's get to it. Welcome to Muddy Off Grid, eh?
Muddy Off Grid, eh? YouTube channel videos are for entertainment purposes only. If you engage in any of the activities shown in the Muddy Off Grid, eh? videos, do so at your own risk. Consult an expert before operating any tools, machinery, etc. shown in the videos.
This is what we look for before we harvest. On this plant, you can see that there were two leaves, one growing from this spot here and this one too, but those two leaves dried out and they're gone basically. Now, there was another leaf growing from this area here. There's one here, another one here, and another one here. This one here is the scape. This part here is called false stem, just because this is formed from the leaves wrapping around the true stem that is inside the plant that holds the scape. Now, the reason that we find that it's really important to have some leaves that are green or at least yellowish, like you can see here, it's not really brown yet. It's brown over here, but it's yellowish, greenish on this side. This is called the blade, the leaf blade. And the reason that that is important is because each leaf will add a layer of protection to the garlic bulb. In the natural cycle of the garlic plant, what happens to the leaves after they get brown and they dry out, they dissolve into the soil because the garlic cloves, they have to separate to be able to grow another plant. So those leaves will dry out beneath the soil and then they'll dissolve in it. Once those leaves dissolve, then they will let the garlic clove to separate beneath the soil, and then each clove will give you another plant for the next year. If you're planning to store your garlic bulb throughout the winter, you want to leave at least, I would say, 4 foliage leaves that are not brown. I have one here that, well, the leaf, I don't know where it's gone. Maybe something ate it. So there's one here that you can see that is not brown. It's kind of yellowish, greenish. So there's one here, 2, 3, and 4 leaves. So these garlic bulb store really well throughout the winter. At least that's what we found out. So it is important to leave those foliage leaves to protect your garlic bulb because they will prevent your garlic bulb from drying too quick. That's why we find that it's important for us to leave enough foliage leaf to protect those bulb if we are planning to store this garlic bulb throughout the winter. And you can see that this plant, most of the leaves are brown and almost dried out. There's maybe two and a half leaves or foliage leaves that will protect this garlic bulb. But the garlic cloves are big, and that's what I like because I like to replant the garlic cloves that are fat and big. So I don't really mind that some plants are almost all brown because, like I said, I will be replanting this one anyway. So now, going back to this plant is actually perfect to show what we think it's important to keep your garlic bulb for a a longer time in your storage. Okay, let's harvest a few more. I want to leave all the compost as much as I can back in there because it's a nice compost for the next crop. So this is how I harvest. What I did before it was just to show you how I cut it. And once in a while you get these bulbs that are really stuck in there, and I think I lost that one. And then what I would do, I will leave them there and I will keep going. Okay, I pulled this one by mistake. I wanted to leave this one in there for about 2 more weeks because it has the escape on, but might as well show you this. You see the size of the garlic bulb and the size of that plant? It just doesn't make sense, right? It's a huge plant and a small bulb. I think it's because I left the escape on this plant. If I had cut the escape, say 4 weeks ago, when I harvested all the escapes, then this bulb would have been way bigger. The reason that we cut the garlic escapes early is because we want to get those bulbs to be as big as possible. The garlic escapes are just that way that the garlic plant actually grow the seeds. This will actually turn into a little sack, and it would have hundreds of bulbils. That will take a lot of energy for the plant to do that. So by cutting the garlic scapes, people found out that they get bigger bulbs because that energy that is used to grow the garlic scapes or the seeds then is used to grow the bulbs, to grow bigger bulbs. At least that's the idea anyway. I'm going to try to pick one plant that the stem is as thick as this one, just to compare the size, because I didn't leave the scapes on these plants. So let's just pull this one out. Okay, so it is it is bigger by about, I would say, 20-30% bigger. But now we have to consider that this one was um, eaten at some point. You can see that something keeps eating the plants. Luckily, they ate these ones after the plants were bigger. So let's. Oh yeah, I see one over there that is perfect. Oh, that one right there. So this one, yeah, it's a little bit thinner, but this one has a lot more leaves, so it had more time to grow. So let's pull this one and compare the size. Yep, it's about, I think it's closer to 30% bigger. So if I had cut this scape off when I harvested the scapes, this bulb would have been at least at the same size as this bulb. And that's why we cut the scapes, so we get bigger bulbs. Okay, so these are some of the scapes at this stage. You can see that this one hasn't opened yet, but you can see the bulbils kind of trying to break through that layer. And look at how big this one is. Nice. I'm gonna get a lot of bulbils here. And this one is kind of cool. You see the red stuff? Those are the bulbils. This one is opening right here. You can see the bulbils in there. And then some of them are quite interesting looking. Look at that. The length of the stem. Cool. And look at this one, eh? Nice. This little one here. Biggest one so far. With the longest and more stems. The bulbils are quite big too in there. You can see the bulbils are coming from the stems at the bottom of the stem. So that's kind of cool. Garlic bulbils are tiny little clones that form up in the scape, right where the little flowers would normally be. Each stem you see here in this scape will produce a bulbil at the bottom of it. At the tip of the stem is where the little flower would grow. I am assuming that because we are in gardening zone 2B, meaning we have a cold long winter and a short growing season, our garlic plants are skipping growing the little flower. Instead of producing seed, garlic puts out these small bulbil pods, eh? They look like miniature garlic cloves. You can plant them just like garlic cloves, but they take a bit longer to grow into full-sized garlic bulbs. Usually the first year, the bulbil will grow into one big round garlic clove. Then you replant the round clove, and on the second year, you get what we know as a garlic bulb with the defined garlic cloves. They are a great way to multiply your garlic stock without having to buy seed garlic cloves, eh? All right, let's go to the drying racks. All right, so this is how I process the garlic before I put them on the drying rack. Okay, so I'll just spread them a bit so they all have some air going around them. Try to get some of those roots that are loose. They'll fall off anyway eventually. So we find that this wire half-inch squares, it's basically chicken wire, which is half inch in size, works just fine. They'll be on these racks for about, well, between 2 and 3 weeks. our climate is very dry, so that's a good thing. Our garlic bulbs, they dry quite nicely and quite fast. Okay, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to help me out by subscribing to my channel. And I hope you have a great day and see you next time. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.